Are you aware yourself of any of these allegations? Have any phone calls been made to you or the people you know offering them this, or is this all pie in the sky from Nigel Farage?
No, it's certainly not pie in the sky. I mean, I was myself on the very day that, had they known it, I was actually putting my nomination in. I was rung twice by somebody, and no, you won't get the name from me, somebody in number 10. First of all, saying that it would be all my fault if we lost Plymouth Devonport. Well, that was okay. Then rang me back to say that if I did stand down, I would play a role in the negotiations. That was the phrase. Nothing more explicit than that. And I said, look, I've played no role in the Tory party for donkey's years. You're not going to flatter me and butter me up now and tell me that I'm going to have some role. But that apparently, I can only talk for what I know about in my own experience, but that sort of thing apparently has been going on.
Now, of course, if it has been going on, your party leader, Nigel Farage, has said the Tories would be guilty of corruption of the worst level. He said this is likened it to living in Venezuela. Now, number 10 have categorically denied that any offers or inducements have been offered.
Well, I can only tell you what happened to me. That's all I can say. And I can put my hand on the good book and say that. That is what happened to me. That's all I can say. I can also add this. No serious candidate is going to be deflected by that sort of activity. It was a huge waste of time for the Tories, apart from anything else, just a big waste of time.
Now, I mean, there has been quite a lot of dispute inside and outside the party about whether or not it would be the right thing for the Brexit Party to stand down more candidates. Many polls would perhaps been welcoming. If the Tory Party had stood down some candidates in some of the 40 particular most likely target seats of the Brexit Party, instead of just fielding, say, paper candidates, as has been suggested. The polling, though, Sir John Curtis, the leading pollster in this country, has said that your party leader is wrong to say that actually, look, you're going to be drawing votes from the Labour Party in a lot of these seats rather than the Tory Party. You're doing more damage to the Labour Party, to Jeremy Corbyn, than you will to the Tory Party. He says that is absolute nonsense. And he said, on the contrary, he said the Tories are going to lose more votes to the Brexit Party than Labour, and that will reduce the Conservatives' chances in marginal seats. Are you concerned, as a Leaver, that you could actually cost the Leave vote?
Right. Let's distinguish what we're talking about. There are marginal seats where Labour is in and where the Conservatives possibly could win. And we offered very clearly to stand down in those seats if in return the Conservative Party would stand down in no more than about 30 key seats in the north and in Wales, where they haven't returned a Conservative for 100 years. So don't tell me we'd be damaging the Conservatives, but where we would have some chance against Labour. That was what we offered. Boris flatly turned that down. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if that results in him losing seats, he is the one who has robbed his candidates, not us.
And in terms of what we wake up to on Friday in 4 weeks' time, the 13th of December, if we do wake up to a hung parliament yet again, we're back where we started from, and perhaps not enough Leave voting MPs supported to push through any version of Brexit, Boris Johnson's version, your version, free trade deal, no deal, whatever it is. Will you apologise to Leave voters?
I think Boris should apologise to Leave voters because, as I say, we offered a very, very straightforward deal, very straight. We'd already stood down in 317 seats, and for weeks before that, we had been offering him that we would also stand down in all the marginals. He could have a free run in all the marginals in return for just about 30 seats in very heavy Leave areas where there is a Remainer Labour MP. It was an extremely good bargain. He was too proud to take it, so therefore he must also accept the consequences.
Let's talk about some of the policies of the other parties. We're not seeing many policies, by the way, from the Brexit Party other than Brexit at the current time.
That is not true. That is not true, Julia, and you know it's not true.
I know.
We announced very early on, before any of the other parties who promptly followed suit, that we would be spending $200 billion in the regions, and we costed that out and said how we were going to do it. We've announced the abolition of inheritance tax. We've announced the reform of business rates. we have announced a great deal. So please don't say you haven't been hearing from us.
I would say we haven't been hearing many announcements, I think is what I said. We'll be hearing a lot more detail from the Conservatives, from the Labour Party, Lib Dems and others about what they're going to do. How detailed is your manifesto going to be? Nigel Farage has said it's not going to be called a manifesto because people don't trust manifestos. But whatever you call it, how detailed is it going to be? Do you have a full programme for government?
We have said very clearly that we will shortly be publishing policies that will cover all major areas of our national life. That is what we have said, and that is what we will do.
And in terms of some of the announcements we've seen from other parties, Labour Party very much in the news today for their promise of free broadband for every household and every business in the country by 2030 by part nationalisation of BT's Openreach. That comes along with nationalisation of utilities, railways and others. What do you make of that policy? Because in a lot of the seats you're going to be up against Labour Remain candidates. Those are going to be the crucial seats you're going to be hoping to win.
Yes.
Promises of free stuff go down very well with voters of all political persuasion.
I think most intelligent voters know that when a general election comes, everybody promises everything. And Jeremy Corbyn in particular, I mean, first of all, he's got to pay to renationalise. He's got to buy all the private companies. When he's done that, and he's then going to supply everything free, that's another cost. You do have to wonder how on earth Corbyn is even going to begin to pay for all the things that he's promising.
Again, that is certainly going to be an issue there. However, again, you're talking about £200 billion for the regions,
which
you say.
Which we costed.
You costed. And everyone sees because of this. Do you think, though, that we have just had, again, partly because of what's happened since the 2016 Brexit referendum, such a breakdown in trust from voters across many different political persuasions, but particularly among those who voted Leave, that whatever promises any political party makes these days, they just simply aren't believed anymore?
Oh, well, I mean, I think that is not a particularly new phenomenon. I think what is new is there has been a complete breakdown of trust in political institutions since 2016, in Parliament in particular. People voted, and 3.5 years later, what they voted for hasn't been delivered, has been frustrated by Parliament, by democratically elected MPs. So I think there is a huge issue of trust. And that is one of the things we will be focusing on in the Brexit Party because, of course, our motto is change politics for good.